Hello, welcome to another VoD review for League of Legends. I'm your host Caveman PRDR, and today I'm going to teach you how to turn Rammus into Swiss cheese, or really any tank for that matter, and all you have to do is play Trundle. Trundle is still very strong. Use the ult, steal stats from any tanky member of the enemy team during team fights, or even during 1v1, and kill them. It's pretty easy. Build AD, get strong. Let's see how we did it.
Welcome to Summoner's
pretty
Rift.
simple here. I want to start off
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I really wanted to get a good idea of where they were, so I went toward the pixel bush first, but my teammate actually went toward the opposite side pixel, which I wanted to go to, so I decided to go do a deeper ward, just make sure they weren't starting blue. Once I get this ward, pretty much around this time, around the blue buff, I know they're going to be starting red.
Get down with me.
So, my team actually kind of wasted a ward on my blue, which is fine. No big deal. Gonna help with the just be there to help each. Anyway, so Rammus is gonna start his full clear. We're pretty much doing opposite clear, or opposite pathing, which is fine. So I'm still working on my clear speed. My clear speed not that good right now, but low things. We're working to get better. I see that their Kiana is pushed up, and they had forced my Lux to back. If my Lux didn't back and had a little bit more health, I would be inclined to gank the Kiana there. However, wasn't meant to be, so it was time to just continue the full clear, because that's just how the lead turned out there, or how the situations turned out there pretty much. But anyway, trying to finish up this full clear. Rammus is unfortunately going to get the top spell, which is fine. I'm actually going to be late looking for that, but I do have my full clear done now. He's still 50% of the way through his clear. I'm going to try to get a gank right here on Kiana, just to see if I can at least force her to burn any zones. Unfortunately right there, it doesn't happen, but it's fine because she gets chunked, and it saves the Lux a little bit. So, anyway. I see that their bot lane, our bot lane isn't there, so I do kind of want to do a little bit of damage, but ultimately I probably should have left earlier. When I knew my team wasn't there, I should have backed a little bit earlier, got the buys, and then I can go back down to my blue side and redo my second side of the blue side clear. Would have been the way to go a little bit earlier. Well, how it played out wasn't that bad, but yeah. Actually start with the wolves here and then go toward the romp. You could argue this isn't necessarily what you want to do, but I figured I would do it for the sake of making myself more easily available to the bot side of my team, which obviously they're shoved in, so I can't really gank that. The only person I can gank right now is Kiana, but not necessarily. Now we are trying to do that because I do want to try to get some sort of numbers advantage. I do force her to burn some abilities, and ultimately do kind of just start a fight here, and we get some kills for the bot lane. This is kind of a bad start for a dragon take. It's actually let's actually look at this for a second. So my forced action in mid lane actually kind of helped result in a success for this. If I'm not mistaken, I guess Lux gets the kill on Kiana, so that technically, if you cut the map in half, should give us a little bit of a numbers advantage down here. So, yeah. Anyway, their team tries to interfere, their jungler tries to interfere, and their ADC tries to interfere. The support runs out, and they kind of just, honestly, it was kind of a coin flip for a drag, but we get away with it. So, yeah. And then we just go back to business as usual once we've gotten the kills and won the team fight over at Dragon. get the dragon, go back up into my blue side and get my blue that I missed before. And then we go back into my red side for my red side clear. For my second clear, the red side clear. We have info that Rammus is on the front side, going to gank mid, so our Pantheon's actually going to roam and help our Lux. I'm going to do my normal camps for the red side clear, which honestly I should be cutting, and I'm cutting right now to go help the team. And this kind of gives a little bit of a backup for my Pantheon. My Pantheon's actually 2-1 right now. He gets uber fed, which is nice. I'm doing a really greedy start right there of the Herald. I see that there's more mid lane Fiesta going on, so I need to respect that for my team and try to rotate back toward that. I do notice that Aurelia leaves the lane and then she comes toward me whenever I walk back up to Herald, so I just go back, I see my red sides up, and just go back to my red. Now, I do see there's a good bit more Fiesta in the mid lane, so once again, I want to help interfere with that. My top laner's there to help, my support's there to help. We want to get some action going, and we get a double kill as a result of going into that, so we like that. They're still up on us on gold diff. However, we translate the slays into an objective take, and it's going to be first Herald grab for us. I want to help the Pantheon clear out a little bit of vision there. My red side's back up again. I like it. However, my Pantheon really wants the help right there. I do just enough to interfere to save the Pantheon, so we're solid. My red side's back up again, so I'm going to go back up and do Krugs. Really and truly, I could have ganked. I go back up top to try to clear out a little bit of the waves that way. I really can't really get that much more gold. And now, I get to back and buy. Or, I should be backing and buying. I'm kind of wasting a little bit of time. Honestly, I should have probably backed and bought, and then just ganked mid, and then went and did the chickens. And Kiana knows I'm here. This is kind of bad on me for not having a way to clear that out first. But anyway, because the Pantheon's there with me, we can still kind of force Kiana to burn abilities and get away from us. So, yeah, once again, Pantheon doing a really good job of kind of baiting out the enemy team and helping us fight. I do die there for the first time, but it takes a ton of effort for them to come back to try to kill us right there. So, was my first death. But overall, Pantheon's just sitting there getting stronger because people keep trying to fight him and he keeps winning fights. So, yeah, Rammus tries to go in there and use my ult on him, turn him into Swiss cheese for me and the Pantheon to kill, so we like that. I was starting to clear. I see that their bot lane is shoved in on us, so I do kind of a mental game where I hit the blast cone with the vision going toward them on purpose, so that way they know I'm there so they can kind of back off my bot lane, if you will, and then my bot lane's able to bend the lane state backward. Now, what I probably should have done was maybe not hit the blast cone and just wait. But hopefully not too much happens. Though their top laner does kind of just randomly come in, and they kind of start single filing on us right now. Unfortunately, I do die right there, but I do get a double kill out of that Fiesta, so they commit more members to come into fight.
Shut down.
Yeah, definitely not that worth it for them. Pantheon gets a solo kill on their jungle on top, so that's nice. But yeah,
Blue team's turret has
lane
been
states
destroyed.
right now. Top lane is
Red
borderline
team's turret has been
unstoppable.
destroyed.
I'm sitting pretty well off being fed. Their mid laner is pretty much winning the mid lane, but I'm doing what I can in the mid lane. I'm not just letting her sit there. I am doing what I can to interfere and fight, which is very nice. And I'm trying to be involved as often as possible. Rammus, the main way Rammus is beating me is that he is able to get to places physically faster than my character is able to because of the, I guess the floating passive, however it works. Long story short, he's able to get to places faster, but if I position myself correctly, you can counter gank like I did there, and like I've been saying, turn the champion that's super tanky into Swiss cheese and punish people that are overextending by making them low health. And sometimes these things, they kind of compound, like turning someone into low health. So for example, I chunked out that Kai'Sa there. That forces the Kai'Sa to back and not be there to help the Rammus and the support right there. So it basically just gave the enemy team less people to fight and fend us off from this bot take, which, like I said, results in the bot take. So chunking out the healths and being there, maybe not necessarily getting the kill right there, it does translate into a better opportunity later. Gives me up 30 CS. They do have a bit of a push here as mid, but overall, in terms of the 1v1 of me versus the Rammus and us having the ability to affect the game, I am doing a lot and he is doing absolute rejection. Once again, we are punishing them for overextending, and yeah, we want to try to do an equal opposite push here. We actually do a ton of damage on this push. Punishing the Aurelia for not being there to help the team, punishing the Rammus. I do kind of want to back our team off from going in a little bit too far there, because we don't want to be caught by the respawners. And quite frankly,
killing spree.
There are camps in the jungle that I could take because Rammus isn't there to stop us. So, yeah, we do that. And we see another mid lane fiesta potentially going on. MF is out here by herself. She actually makes a pretty decent play right here in getting away, but of course she just runs into the running arms of Pantheon, who wants to take my red buff, which he's 12-3-3. I'm probably not going to tell him, no, don't take my red buff, but I do like my red buff. Anyway, yeah, Dragon's coming up soon. We want to be able to have position for it. Lane state and bottom is fairly neutral. We do have the man advantage here, so it's kind of like they just forfeited the control of it just because no one on their team wanted to be there. We had a little bit of zone control with the, or the vision control rather, and once again kind of just catching them out, making mistakes. Trundle does very, very well with team fights, makes their tanks weaker, makes really everyone's stats weaker in general, makes them easier to kill, easier for your team to kill, so we like that. I see my team had mid pushed a little bit here. I want to put a little bit of extra pressure in a side lane, and I'm kind of surprised Kai'Sa didn't just hold this bush, or really try to go to the bush whatsoever. I guess she didn't want to test her luck, but anyway, I kind of get away with that. It was a little risk. I know it was worth a little bit of the top push, but anyway. Gave us a little bit more gold. Now Pantheon comes in to interfere. They don't really team fight efficiently. I'm able to help out the team there because we're kind of team fighting and they're kind of just pushing in one person at a time, or 1 to 2 people at a time, and it's super manageable for us. We've got a lot of frontline in Braum. We've got a couple of really big bruisers in Pantheon and myself. So it kind of just allows Blitz and Zaya to do whatever the hell they want because they're kind of protected. So, I do make a little bit of a mistake here in overextending for their buff, which honestly, not really that bad in the grand scheme of things, but ideally that's one off of the board that you can avoid.
Legendary.
So, and Rammus punishes me for doing that by going to take one of my camps. Kiana does as well, because I'm not up. How am I going to stop them? So But in the meanwhile, my team gets 2 more kills in the time that it took 3 of them to kill me. So I've pretty much done my job at this point. My team is uber fit. Dragons coming up. Once again, if you look at our vision on the bottom half of the map, we have at least 3 wards on the bottom half of the map. We had a 1-person advantage. They're kind of threatening to push the mid lane. They make a mistake in not committing to that play. They really and truly should have committed to pushing mid lane while we go for rag. Either that or they should have fully committed to turning on us at drag, which I know. Either way, they lose that just because Pantheon's an uber monster at this point. He's been rotating with better positioning and capitalizing on getting kills. I've been getting assists. It's been a good time. And now, Dragon is actually up. I'm letting my team get Dragon here, honestly, because I know where everyone on their team is whenever they're starting Dragon. The last remaining laner was in top, and Rammus was like sitting in mid or some reverse like that. But anyway, I knew where their team was, so I was comfortable with not being at Dragon at the second it was available or sold. And at this point, it's just bullying for the rest of the match. We're kind of just taking whatever objectives we want, because how are they going to stop it? More so whenever Pantheon's alive, honestly. Again, they kind of just make mistakes of going in on us 1 person at a time. Rammus, really good idea on ulting and trying to attack our backline. The problem is I counterpicked him. So any instance of him coming in by himself is going to be instantly punished by my ult, which makes him weaker, which makes it easier for my team to kill him. Hence, the Rammus has become Swiss cheese. So, yeah. We do kind of drag out the game a little bit here. Sometimes it be like that. This is a bit of a risky play to start the Baron this late without this much damage, but it's alright. I'm kind of surprised the enemy team didn't try to really punish us that sooner. Honestly, probably shouldn't have done it, but I think because their team hesitated to really react to us in the amount of time that passed, it kind of just allowed us to do it for free. Obviously, they're here. We know we have a 1-man advantage because their top laner's down, and then their mid laner just right there. So, at this point, we just have free reign to win the game. So, yeah. That is the story of how I turned this into Swiss cheese. Thank you for coming and watching, and as always, have a good one.